Aloha and welcome to our very first episode of Spartan Spotlight. Throughout this school year, we'll be shining our Spartan Spotlight on members of our school community, highlighting their stories of faith, family, and community. Today, we are in the historic Sacred Heart Church as we shine our Spartan Spotlight on Father EJ Resinto, pastor of Sacred Heart Church and Maryknoll School.
I think my vocation was planted in me as a small child. My mom told me this story once where I guess I must have been old enough to talk and maybe old enough to realize what we were doing, but we went to Mass one Sunday and she said that we walked into the church and I looked around and I said, wow, I really like this place. And she said from that moment, her and my dad both knew that this kid was going to become something. And I got older, I became an altar boy under Father Clyde Guerrero, who is now the pastor at St. Patrick's Church in Kaimuki. So, and in fact, I was so eager to serve at the Mass because I just found being with the priest and being up in the altar and, you know, doing the altar server thing was so enticing that I just wanted to serve the Mass. And normally you have to make your first communion before you become an altar boy. But I was so eager to that. And one of my aunties went to talk to Clyde and said, Father, he really wants to serve. So Father Clyde said, let him serve. That's okay. Put him in the robe. So I was there, maybe 6 years old in my robe. We had some priests and religious at our parish that really, really impacted my life. One of them being Father Clyde Guerrero, Father Paul McLeod, and Sister Florence Rimata, who was a Franciscan sister who did the religious education program in our parish. And then when I got middle school, high school, we got Father Bill Shannon. He was the priest that kind of got me into the seminary and saw me through. So, I would have to credit the four of them in my vocation because they really formed it. What attracted me to the priesthood from a young age was how human the priests were. My godparents, my auntie and my uncle, were very, very close to Father Clyde and Father Paul. And so they were regularly was at the house. So, we saw them without the clothes. We saw them swimming in the pool, having a cocktail and just kind of being relaxed. And I was like, man, that's a really attractive to that. That they're a priest, they're serving the Lord, but they're also good, fun men. And just their style of, interacting with the people and their pastoral skills is just very attractive. Went through high school thinking that I really wanted to be a chef. I really enjoyed cooking, which, as you see today, with making my grandmother's Portuguese bean soup. So we graduated, and I enrolled at the Culinary Arts program at Maryknoll Community College, and did that for almost 2 years. I was just about ready to get my degree, and then I realized that I wasn't happy, and there was something that was missing. There was a missing link. And even though I was working and I was going to school, I was still, active at the church. And many people in my family would always kind of put it in my mind, you should think about becoming a priest because you just love being at church all the time. No, I don't want, because I wanted to get married. And, raise a family and everything and serve God in that way. But I realized, it kind of hit me, or it dawned on me one Good Friday that I had to go to school and work on a Good Friday. And for me, Good Friday was always something that was sacred and solemn. You don't work on Good Friday. So that started maybe the light bulb started, maybe the journey started to turn back to where God was, or who God was calling me to be. And I remember talking to the priests and talking to Father Bill and to other, people, and said, I don't know, something's missing. And I remember one lady from the church, she said, EJ, it's kind of like an itch. And it's going to keep itching, and it's not going to heal until you put some kind of ointment on it. And that ointment, I think, is your call to be a priest. And so I said, okay, so where do I go from here? What do I do now? So, I went on some retreats. Actually, I went on a retreat with Father Alfred Guerrero, who's now the pastor of Newman Center. We were actually in high school at this time, and we formed our friendship there. Now we're friends. But anyway, feel the call. I wanted to finish school, get my associates in culinary school, and then make the decision. And I remember talking to Father Bill, and I remember talking to Bishop Larry about it, and he said, if you have the call now, if you have the desire, go now. You can always finish if it doesn't work out. It was like November, right before Thanksgiving. I remember the vocation director of the diocese called me and said I had been accepted as a seminarian for the diocese, and I was accepted as a seminarian for Mount Angel Seminary in Oregon. So I said, okay, so would that be next fall, next September? And he said, no, you're going in January. There's a spot open for you in January. So within a month, I had to tell my family, tell my friends, I had to quit my job and pack my bags and move to Oregon. I remember telling my family and my friends, and I remember being really, really nervous, thinking, what are they going to think of me? Would they be disappointed? Will they think strange things of me? I spoke to my parents. Actually, my dad was deployed for the first time yet when I first left. And I remember, sitting with him and my dad, him and my mom, and they said, we always knew you were called to do something, and we're supporting you, and go with our blessings, and we just want you to be happy. And I remember telling my grandmother was still alive yet at that time, and she was really, really happy. Her only concern was that I wasn't going to be able to come home anymore. That was her own concern, and then she kind of said, if I die, you're not going to be able to come back. And which wasn't true, because I was in the seminary 2 years already, and she got sick and passed away, and I was able to see her in her final days and be with her. I had a really close relationship, especially with my maternal grandparents, my grandma Dorothy and my grandpa David. And I think they really kind of, my parents did a great job, but they really gave me the faith, models of the faith that I have now. And so, I'm ever grateful to them. And the rest of my huge Filipino, Portuguese, Hawaiian family, they were just ecstatic when they heard that I was even just thinking about the priesthood was enough for them. And I remember telling them at a family gathering, I don't know if I'm going to make it, and I'm a little afraid to go and make that decision, because if I don't make it, I'm going to cause shame to the family, and I don't want to cause shame to the family. They said, no, just the fact that you are thinking about it, that's enough for us. If you make it, right on, because I think they have a free ticket to heaven now, which they don't. If you're watching, you guys don't go to church. But if you don't come home, no shame. Yeah, so I entered Mount Angel Seminary. Unfortunately, none of my credits from culinary school transferred out, so I had to start over from the beginning. So for someone who is on the process like mine, it's 8 years of education. So 4 years of a bachelor's in philosophy, and then you do another 4 years for your master's in theology. And I also got master's of divinity. So I had two master's degrees. So I did 4 years in Oregon at Mount Angel Seminary, and then from there I went to graduated from college in 2011, and then I went to St. Patrick's Seminary in Menlo Park, California. Those years were wonderful, wonderful years. I made some really, really good friends. Now they're my brother priests from all over, the United States. One thing that's good about the priesthood is you make so much friends that you always have somewhere free to go when you want a vacation. Before your last 2 years of the seminary, they send you back home to your home diocese, so back home to Hawaii. and you kind of live and work alongside a priest for a year. And so I did that over at St. Michael's Church in Kailua. So I spent a year on the Big Island, and that was a wonderful year. It was good to get away from school, because at that point I was in school for 7 years, yeah. And then just to kind of relax and come home, reconnect with the people, reconnect with the land, with the islands, the culture, remind yourself where you're from. And then went back to the seminary, finished 2 years. I was ordained a transitional deacon December of 2015. And that happened back home on Kauai. And it was just an amazing experience. It's emotionally overwhelming, because I saw so many worlds collide. I had my family, I had my childhood friends, high school friends, I had my church friends, all of these worlds just colliding on this one day. And I mean, you could just feel the electricity in the air. So I was ordained December 2015, went back to the seminary, finished up the spring semester, graduated in May of 2016 from St. Patrick's. And then I was ordained on July 9th, 2016 at the Cathedral Basilica of Our Lady of Peace in downtown Honolulu. And then after a really, really quick vacation of about 2 weeks, I was assigned to my first parish assignment at Our Lady of Perpetual Help Church in Eva Beach, and that was my first 2 years, wonderful years in Eva Beach. And I'm still. They say your first assignment really kind of sets your foundation. So I was there for 2 years, and then I arrived here at Sacred Heart in Maryknoll, June of 2018. I was under Father Gordy for about 6 months, and then we transitioned the leadership, and then I became pastor in January of 2019, and here we are at the ending of 2020. So I've been here now 2.5 years almost, here at Sacred Heart in Maryknoll. It's been a journey. It's been challenging because this is the parish. The parish is not that big, but this is the largest Catholic school in the diocese. To be given that responsibility, number one, so early in my priesthood, and number two, to be so young to become a pastor. I was only 32 when I was 31 when I became a pastor here. And normally that really doesn't happen. And I know there were a lot of people who doubted me, even amongst the clergy. He's too young, he's too not mature yet in his ministry. We did have some challenges that faced us, but my love for Sacred Heart Parish and its parishioners, and my love for Maryknoll School has definitely grown, and it's become part of me and who I am. There's just so much joy. I mean, there's the challenges, there's the business, there's the administration, but there's just so much joy that comes around in both entities. People tell me, they ask me, Father, what do you do on a bad day? How do you handle your stress? And this is something that I did when I was in Eva Beach, and I do now. I'll go take a walk by the kindergarten class, because there's no stress there. I mean, I can't talk for the teachers, but for me, there's no stress there, and you just get pure innocence, and it is what it is. Take it or leave it, Father. This is who we are. And it's just such a joy, to be with that kindergarten class as well too. It's been a joy to work here, to minister here, to be challenged and challenge others as well too. Especially during this pandemic that we're going through, and this year has just been a whirlwind of everything. But so one thing I learned from Maryknoll is the zeal and the commitment that the people who have gone through this establishment have, the passion that people have, and the pride, a good healthy pride, in Maryknoll. And so there's generations and legacies that people have built here, the pride that comes with Maryknoll, and I'm just so blessed to be a part of this history. right now in this particular time, and to lead, to serve, and to work with, the administrators, the staff, the faculty, and especially the students and their families. I'm grateful to have been given this opportunity to be here at this particular time.
Oh,
You go, Mr. Nagami?
that goes. Thank you, Grandma.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, Travis. Yeah, get you on the board.